Hello again. And this morning is going to be just a real brief recap of what we've managed to accomplish so far and what our direction from this point forward will be. Of course, we had the frame fabbed up off-site. We managed to trim our Y-axis rails to length. We mounted the rails up, transferred the holes, and we have a sliding axis. Slides very easy, it's very nice, it's smooth. So the next operation will be to, and this is not a mistake, and I'm surprised somebody hasn't commented about this yet. Whereas somebody could say, Paul, you assembled your gantry without any T-nuts in there to mount the linear rails. Well, that's intentional because it'll come apart. The downside, I guess, of building this router in this fashion where the router itself is mandating how things fit together is that you're gonna put it together and take it apart several times. Well, the next operation will be taking apart the gantry, at least one end of the gantry, and inserting the T-nuts and mounting up the rails, the linear rails for the X-axis. Fortunately, I don't have to do any drilling into the aluminum extrusion. However, I will be making T-nuts from this piece of flat bar stock. Only because the T-nuts that are available really don't have the right thread size on it. My linear rails are set up for 5mm screws. I can get 6mm rails with 6mm holes or 1/4 inch holes, oh my word, it's just not going to work. So it's easy enough. I'll take this piece of flat stock, cut it up into sections, drill and tap, keyword there, drill and tap, my 5mm threaded holes through, and make a few T-nuts. I figure I'm going to make 60 T-nuts. I need 44 to mount the linear rails to the X-axis cross member. There'll be a few extras. I'll just insert those to the back side and save them for spares. So with that said, I'm going to knock the end off of the one side over here, make some T-nuts, and I will show you how. And again, somebody else pointed out that we put this thing together, we didn't do any alignment. We didn't do any squaring. Well, again, it's because the thing goes together and comes apart at least once, maybe several times. And I will wait until I get to close to being in a final situation before I physically square the gantry with the table and make sure that my beam is not canted forwards or back. And when we put the Z-axis on, I'll make sure that the Z-axis is perpendicular to the machine bed. So the whole idea of this is doing it in kind of sections. This gantry assembly is beginning to get heavy, and it's easier to do these pieces of parts, especially when the part is being developed, being driven by the machine itself. It's easier to handle the parts, I guess, from my viewpoint, from a piece-by-piece assembly versus building the whole thing up there and then wrestling a component up there that could weigh upwards of 100 pounds. Because I'm working by myself, it becomes a logistic issue, or how do you handle the weight? Well, a little bit at a time if you do it the way that I'm trying to do it. So that's my approach at least, and it's not necessarily the only approach, it's just how I'm doing it. Also at this time, I'd like to give a big shout out to a gentleman, Roger Webb, for providing inspiration to do this project. Without that gentle shove, I don't think that I would at least be in the situation where I'm trying to accomplish this task. And again, thank you, Roger. And with that, I will close this video, and you can join me again when we get ready to put the X-axis and gantry assembly back together.